Hey y'all, I just wanted to let you know that we have a Patreon channel. That's right. If you did not know, we are on Patreon. Our Patreon is $8.99 a month where you can come and watch all of our visual elements to our podcast show. So all you have to do is click the link in our description box and it will take you right there. It's only $8.99 a month. Make sure you go and subscribe. Bye. And we're back for another episode of the Hella Chisme Podcast. My name is Dana.
And I'm Stephanie.
And we are your host. Welcome back. And
In the flesh.
In the flesh. In the same room. Oh, I shouldn't say that. We ain't got no Stanley advertisements going on.
And not you being a Stanley Cup girly pop. Not having a Stanley collection.
I just got another one because Chrissy came and we saw her. She came over one day and she said she had got an order from her job. So then she was like, I was like, I wanted a green one. Yeah, I did want a green one.
Yeah.
And anyway, she ordered another one. So I have this cute green one, this teal color, and I brought it to work because originally that's what I wanted at work. I work water cups because I've been all about trying to drink enough water at work. And she brought me one of those.
Oh, that is nice. Yes.
I don't think you guys can see it.
There you go.
But look at that. So yes, welcome back. If you're watching, then you can tell that we're in the same room together and we're in our Riverside studio, which is, I guess, our virtual background is technically us in the middle of our living room.
Yeah.
With the window behind us, it seems to be a little rainy outside. You know, we love a good virtual background. So,
yeah.
We're going to see how this goes. So far, so good. Nothing, it hasn't been terrible with Riverside, but.
Right. It's only our third episode on it.
Yes, it's only our third episode. We've been using it for the last couple episodes. So, thank you.
For your patience. Yes.
With the learnings and all the things that we've been dealing with when it comes to technology that we're navigating.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's going on? How you doing? Tell me stories of how's life been?
Life has been lifing. I've been good, for myself. I think that me consistently going to the gym has helped me a lot. Just because it's a lot of anxiety recently, just in general. And even though I go to the gym and I work out pretty hard and stuff, I've still been waking up in the middle of the night. So I think and I've noticed I'm a huge TikToker. I love TikTok, and I have been hesitating to kind of open it up now, and kind of just doing it maybe once or twice a day for a little bit, because I need to be informed and I want to be, but also it's overwhelming at times. And I have just seen so many things happening, but I think just trying to give myself grace and only trying to control what I can, is what I've been trying to remind myself. I'm back to journaling. I've been doing a lot of audiobooks as well. I started this book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. You can either read it or audio. I've been listening to it on Audible. Sometimes while I'm in the gym, I'll listen to that or music. It just depends. And I feel like it's like relevant, or I could really implement that right now. So that's kind of been where I'm at in my space, along with mommying and all that stuff. So
All real life shit.
How are you?
I'm good. It's been a lot of shit going on, like you said. I have been obviously working every day, and that has been, a whole thing, especially with all the things happening in the world. Um, but as much as possible, trying to protect my peace and stay sane and not let too much of it affect me, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I've been. Just, going day by day. With that, as I mentioned, that we are going to be doing some kind of updates. I don't know that I necessarily want to call them DI updates, because that's kind of where I was when we first, hell bent on, being a rebel, which I am still hell bent on being. But so we are 11 days into this new administration. And first, the beginning of the week, as I mentioned in the last episode, Donald Trump has rolled back diversity, equity, inclusion at a federal level. So any federal government agencies has been ordered to take any DEI measures or policies out of their agencies, and including the employees. So, and I talked a little bit about that and what that meant last week, but just to provide a little bit more insight, so that essentially means that employees was given a notice to that they were going to be eliminating DEI, and that they would be, essentially being removed from the company or fired, essentially. Since then, they issued a letter to these employees that they can buy into this retirement, so to speak, where they would have until February 6th to opt into this program, where they would be paid their salary up until September, starting when they would opt out of being a part of the agency and in the role they're in. So that was an option. And then essentially, if they don't opt out by February 6th, then they will be essentially terminated, which, whew, girl. And then, since then, we've also had plans to stop, any preventative measure medication, like some people are on PEP and PrEP, for HIV and AIDS, and then also medication for people who are taking medication for HIV and AIDS, who have already been diagnosed and have been taking care of it for years. That's been a part of the conversation as well, stopping that. And then also the freezing of federal funding for lots of different agencies that rely on federal funding to continue to run and to continue to be functional for the world and people in the world. Donald Trump has decided to put a freeze to those dollars as well, which has affected a lot of different people, including, my agency that I work for. And that has been a thing as well. The next day, the courts did try to roll back the freeze. However, it did still tie up a lot of dollars for some people, especially people who are on Medicaid, who have to pay into their Medicaid in order to even be able to use their Medicaid. And also, any food or like cow fresh, we call it cow fresh here, food stamps for everybody else, for them to be able to buy food and be able to live and eat and do daily functional things.
So
Like Donald Trump's
in my in the agency I work for, it has been obviously like a concern here, at least in, the county that we're in. It hasn't blocked any like cow fresh. I will say that I don't know if it was a coincidence or not, our systems being slow. But obviously, since the agency I work for does have federal ties and things like that, it is like a concern for workers. But, our agency has been pretty good about giving us updates and just keeping us in the loop and giving us grace and things like that. But it is scary because these could potentially affect grants that help with childcare, and just so many things. And I don't know if people realize how expensive childcare is. At least here in San Diego, it's like up to $2,000 a month. And realistically, like, you would just work to pay your childcare. Like, if you're a single mom or whatever the case is, like, that's not feasible. And also, I wanted to just backtrack real quick. I was just having this conversation with some friends and just like educating them on what DEI is, because people are seeing these boycotts for certain companies, like Target, McDonald's, and things like that, and rethinking like where they're gonna shop and just not really knowing what that is or what removing DEI completely across the board would mean. And my understanding, I'll explain it, but maybe you can correct me or like add on to it, is that it is a department in HR or a specialized unit in HR that helps ensure that if you are just as qualified or if not more qualified than another potential candidate, that you are not discriminated against, or the other person is not chosen just because they're white versus you being Mexican, Black, Asian, like whatever your descent is. And ensuring that there is equity in the workplace. Also, education is a big thing. I know, like, where I work, they send us, like, for Hispanic Heritage Month, like, emails and just like telling us like what that is, or like, Latino people that have made a huge impact and things like that. Same thing for like Black History Month, for Pride Month, and just every month they send us emails and things like that, and just educating us and providing like trainings and like videos and just stuff like that.
Yeah, so yes, and so DEI in the workplace, that's exactly what it looks like, and that's for the most part what it is. Sometimes the department can be its own department, but for the most part, it usually lives under human resources in some capacity. I think the other piece is that, diversity and what diversity means and looks like different things. A household with a single parent is a diverse household. A person, if they're in a room full of people and the person has a disability, is a diverse room. It's not always just about race, but in the reasoning and the direction that Donald Trump has taken it and the way that he has taken it is directly for race and to be racist against
Right.
other ethnicities and people in genders other than his cisgendered white male self.
Right.
But absolutely everything you said, 103,000%.
Also, I just wanted to say, like, maybe some shade, but a helicopter plane crash being connected to DEI is insane. The manipulation in even bringing both those things up in the same sentence is, please, it's like, those couples that are like, they're both equally like dumb and you're like, you deserve each other. So if you're believing this, you deserve each other. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Because I really don't know like what else to say.
I don't know. As a matter of fact, I was trying to look it up. We haven't seen. Oh, matter of fact, the crew who was driving the airplane, I think they showed I saw somebody post the crew, and I think it was just the flight attendants. But I haven't seen anything about the pilots for either the helicopter or the airplanes. But if we want,
It's just so ridiculous. No.
We're laughing because he's a fucking idiot. It's really what we're laughing at. And if if we're talking about DEI in the space, if we're talking about DEI or diversity, if these were different, if these are people with some sort of disabilities, then yeah, it is DI. Yeah, they were diverse in that space. But that's not why the fucking plane crashed, you dumbass. I feel
The
like
plane crashed because there was blacks and Mexicans on the plane.
yes. What a fucking idiot. Like, I don't just that are just
And people be eating that shit up.
love it.
Like, did you see? So there's this video I shared, a little off topic, but it was just like, it was asking this woman, and she had like her little MAGA hat, and she was with her husband, and he's like, the interviewer and his friend asked the husband first, if Jesus Christ came into this country, would you let him in? And the guy's like, yeah. And the wife, oh, this woman, she said, she looked at him and said, when the guy asked why, she's like, well, if he had the proper documentation, I would. Jesus Christ himself needs papers. This is
where we are at. It's wild.
I will say, for making a mockery of him, you know, people, you're gonna lay in that bed you make. Eventually. So yeah, I just want to say, like, please do your research. Don't just talk to hear the sound of your voice and to be ignorant or a troll. Really think about what you say, because words cut and they can't be taken back, and your reputation can't be taken back always. So just think before you speak, you know?
Agreed.
Just think.
With that being said, because we have enough of a robust episode for you guys today, we're going to take a small break, and then we'll be back to get into what we're going to be talking about today. Bye. Hey
guys, just wanted to come on here and remind you that we still are on Patreon. And if you would like to see all of the visual content and for future, present, and past episodes, then you would want to subscribe to that. It's about $8 a month, but for real life updates and behind the scenes clips and, you know, updates, surveys, polls, make sure you are following us on Instagram at Hella Chisme Pod, and YouTube, Hella Chisme Podcast. We do lives and other, you know, events and stuff like that that you want to definitely be part of. So go ahead and follow us on there and stream us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever podcast streaming service you prefer. And thank you guys for tuning in.
And we are back. So for today's episode, we thought it would be just great to have a conversation about nostalgia.
Yeah.
We know, you know, I think with the times that we're in and with all the things going on in the world, people often look to things that make them feel nostalgic, or things that, you know, bring back memories of the past, or, you know, things that brought them some sort of happiness, is a sense of being nostalgic. So I think for us, we'll dive into kind of, you know, why we crave it, what makes us want to go to that place, and then also, you know, talk about like the 90s and the early 2000s and culture, and like, you know, just the nostalgic moments of that, you know, just do a little deep dive into it. But I like to start it off just kind of asking, you know, what makes you feel nostalgic, Frank?
That's a good question. I think what makes me feel nostalgic is like doing little things with my daughter that I used to do. So like the little butterfly clips that we used to use, and like the Hello Kitty right now. just certain things that sometimes I do with my kids that reminds me of like my, childhood or whatever. Or seeing certain style trends like that we used to rock or brands or whatever. I think that yeah, like Echo. There's so many like the low-rise jeans. I mean, we're gonna get into all that, but yeah, I think just all that and then the music because I feel like music for me is connected like to a lot of memories and things. So, what about you?
Yeah, music is my top one that makes me feel like nostalgic. Like you know, especially when I listen to like the OJs, and my parents love the OJs and like Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh yeah.
And Aretha Franklin. And a lot of the times when a lot of that music comes on, it reminds me of like the summertime and when we would do long drives to like Tahoe or Orville, or even just to go to like Sacramento to visit family or something, or, just drives in general. A lot of that music does make me think of, back then, and just how times were, they weren't really easy, but they're a little bit better
Simpler.
and simpler, that's it, than what we go through now today. I also think, with us having the conversation that we had in the episode that we had about the cravings being a child and then wanting to be an adult, and then, how being vice versa, that now being an adult and craving childhood, I think, is a great way to now move to the next part of that conversation, which is talking about being nostalgia. But yes, music definitely does that for me. Fashion doesn't really do it. It doesn't really trigger much for me because
Our fashion then was crazy.
then we're crazy and different. But I don't really, when I look at if some trends are coming back, it doesn't really make me feel nostalgic. It really just am like, oh my God, I can't believe they're bringing that back.
Yeah.
But music does it more for me than anything.
Yeah, I agree. Like Lisa. I know, like for me, like Elton John, like Queen, like certain, yeah, like Earth, Wind and Fire, like you said, is a good one. All of that definitely brings back a lot of like childhood memories. My family like bumping that and stuff.
Yes.
Juan Gabriel is like a big one for me and my family.
What Latino or Hispanic artists for you, or for, that you remember, like brought nostalgia for you and your family?
So Juan Gabriel is like a big one. And it was more like the song like El Venado, and Selena, obviously. All the girly pop baddies, Latina baddies. Listen to that. Yeah, like a lot. You know which one too brings back the Venga Boys? Remember that? Because my older cousin was like into like the beads, like the raver scene. But yeah, Selena, even to this day, like I try to listen to it also like with my daughter and stuff so she'll like it. And for me, sometimes it like I'm like, oh my God, and I'll just start drifting off in like memories and stuff. Definitely.
So, speaking of artists, do you remember, were you like ever a huge like Britney Spears fan?
I went through a Britney phase,
What
yeah.
were some of your favorite Britney Spears
Uh,
or songs?
I did like Toxic. I liked the Baby One More Time. That's the one where she had the skirt, right? And the scrunchies. That one. I was yeah. Yeah, those I think are the ones that stood out the most for me. Which one was the one? Toxic.
Yes.
Toxic is when she had the red pleather suit. She was on the moon or something like something
Which
like
one was she was a stewardess, like in a airplane? Was that
oh let me see.
man something?
Toxic. Oh, that was Toxic too. Yeah.
Well, okay. Oh, that's right, because she
And then
the
she
first
land.
one. I know a man, you're toxic, toxic, and love. That's the right one.
Yes, that one too.
Yes.
Oops, I did it again. Yeah. Were you, because it was always like Britney and then Christina Aguilera. Did you choose like a team, like Team Britney or Team? Christina Aguilera?
I definitely enjoyed Christina.
Yeah.
I enjoyed some Britney music,
Mm-hmm.
but I was never a diehard Britney fan.
Yeah.
I think I did like Christina more than I liked
Mm-hmm.
Britney.
Same.
However, whenever those Britney specials would come on HBO, I always watched them.
Yeah. For me, it was like the show and dancing part. I
Mhm.
liked Britney because it was very pop and
Yeah.
dancing and
Yeah.
like, a whole set and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But voice wise and just music, I did like Christina. Like I feel like her music would hit deep.
Mhm.
Um, Also Pink. I feel like Pink, it was like them three but Pink was more like the rebel and like she was on her
Yes.
own
Absolutely.
trip.
Well, and I also think she was just like a badass. I mean,
Yeah.
she still kind of is.
Yeah.
She still is very,
Like
don't fuck
rebel.
with me.
She made that one song Stupid Girls, right? Or something.
Yes. My favorite one was about like the pill and just like how
Mm-hmm.
toxic men can be.
Yeah.
I like that song a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Some things like when we were thinking about nostalgia, and like what it triggers in the brain, and just like it boosts dopamines, right?
Right.
Like, I think as we're sitting here and we're talking about like what we liked about Britney Spears, what we liked
Mm-hmm.
about some of the artists of that still are current, but at that time is boosting dopamines within us. It's getting us excited. And it does reduce stress. So I think that's also one of the things about nostalgia and why people like to kind of live a little bit in the past. I think, when we're thinking about the psychological impact as well, it's not just longing for the past. It helps you cope with what is happening and then all the uncertainty that's happening in the world currently, which right now there's a lot of it. So, like yesterday, I listened to Jasmine Sullivan had a album. I think it was the 10-year anniversary of her reality show album. So I listened to that all the way to work and all the way back up. And then I think that it's just important to never let the good shit die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I think that's why I try to play music too, like for my kids of like the past. Maybe not like Britney Spears and stuff, but I do play like Juan Gabriel, Selena, like some Christina Aguilera sometimes, just to kind of keep it because our parents, put us onto their music and stuff like that. And sometimes you see full circle moments like in the Kendrick Lamar songs that he's most recently been bringing out. Like he'll kind of throw clips of that, like California, old school. And I think it's just like the Cali swag of like the funk and like the Selena, like just clips, like certain Earth, Wind and Fire, like people still clip those songs, and they hit here because people grew up on that. And it's same thing, like you said, it's nostalgic.
Well, so it's interesting when you talk about like clips and people sampling music, right? So I was watching the the Diddy documentary on Max the other day, and not to do
No,
that
yeah,
right now, but one of the things that they talked about was why he became such a music mogul was because he was taking like old music from the 60s and 70s and sampling it and then turning them into rap, covering them on rap
yeah.
songs, and also then taking hooks and adding hooks onto some of the rap music as well. So, it's like all of those things, when you're triggering the brain to do something and engage in something is also one of the big reasons why music makes us go to that place. The neuroscience behind music is the ability to transport us back into time,
Right.
Like that is the goal, and that's ultimately why, a lot of people do a lot of sampling.
Yeah.
I think people loved Renaissance because it was very house, and Beyonce took a lot of older house music queens and girlies and put them on these songs, and it transported a lot of people back to the 80s and the 90s when house music was like kind of at its peak and was at its core the most raw and authentic and like really, really good and fun. So I know we talked a little bit about Britney Spears, but what's a song that instantly takes you back to like a moment in childhood, area like your teen years?
I would say like a couple of the Christina Aguilera songs. Beautiful. Was it Beautiful?
Yeah.
Remember that? Because that was like a big thing because it was like one of the first songs I want to say that shed light on like I don't was it the video was about like depression or like suicide or something like that.
Well, I think it touched on many.
It was a big thing when we were, younger. A lot of anorexia and bulimia.
Yes, absolutely.
And that wasn't really, I mean, it's still not talked about very commonly, but that was like, it was one of the first times that it was like a whole music video shedding light on that. So I think that kind of reminds me, and just all the songs that we mentioned of like Britney, Selena, and yeah, Pink. Like those were like the main like girl ones. I think like NSYNC and them were still more a little bit like elementary school, I want to say. So yeah, what about for you?
I think one that's popping up in my mind right now is like TLC No Scrubs.
Yes, yes.
TLC No Scrubs, and then Where My Girls At.
Girls at you know which one too? What was that one? I'm getting a little tired of you.
Oh yes, from, the Three Little Women, 3LW.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I mean, that was like a whole moment in
That was.
So here it says, so Britney Spears, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, which,
Were you Team NSYNC or Backstreet Boy?
98 Degrees. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, 98 Degrees. That guy was cute. The one, Nick Lachey, yeah.
And I mean, I didn't mind either one of them. I didn't think any of those boys was cute, honestly.
You know what's crazy?
What?
The one I thought was cute turned out to be gay.
Oh,
Lance,
the one with
Lance Bass, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. I was more like NSYNC, and then my other cousin was more like Backstreet Boys, and we'd be like, no, like NSYNC is better. Backstreet Boys are better.
Yeah, he did. Lance Bass was the guest.
Yeah, I was never a Justin Timberlake fan, and I'm still not really. There was another one I was gonna say, Spice Girls.
Oh yeah.
Spice Girl. That reminds me too of like young childhood, like the bubblegum shoes, like the big ass platform.
Shoes, yeah.
Had those.
Yep. TLC did do a lot of those. Nirvana. Are you really a Nirvana fan?
I listened to it, but it's not, I wasn't like too much into that. Queen, my dad played a lot of Queen. So I know a lot of their songs. Elton John, Kenny. Oh,
that was funny. Spice Girls.
Kenny G, my dad used to listen to.
Kenny G.
With the
yeah,
he used to listen to that. So maybe that's why I like jazz now. I like jazz beats and
that's what
it's so soothing. Lo-fi jazz. I can play that at work all the time.
What about Tupac? Were you a huge Tupac fan in the 90s?
I think later in high school, like sophomore year, junior year, like that's kind of when, like that was happening.
Yeah,
I think that's when I was like you start like your bad boy phase, or I don't know. It happens for everyone differently, but
yeah, I get that. Do you know who Alanis Morissette is?
Let me look them up. Maybe. What do they sing? Usher. I used to have the biggest crush on Nelly, Usher, Hello Cool J. Fuck boys. But Nelly's so sweet right now with Ashanti. That is nostalgic for me. You don't like that? Nelly and Ashanti. That is so cute. And they just had a baby. That was like.
Is she pregnant again?
I don't know, but what did she sing? Is it the song The 1,000 Miles from White Chicks?
Yeah.
That was a good song.
Usher, Beyonce, Outkast. Outkast is amazing.
Oh, Outkast. Yeah. I loved their music. I still like International Players Anthem. That's a good song over there.
Avril Lavigne. My brother loved Avril Lavigne. The Fall Out Boys. I liked a couple of songs of the Fall Out Boys. The Kelly Clarkson. Yeah, I love and of course Missy Elliott.
What about like Limp Bizkit and like Blink 182?
Yep.
Those had a moment too.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We're unlocking them.
All of the old tunes. I think that is.
I feel like in our generation, like music was such a thing. Because we had music videos and we had literally our TV channels like MTV, BET, like they were just basically music videos most of the time. And then that's kind of when like TRL started, and then like what would BET had 106,
106
106 in Park.
106 in Park back.
Like those were for me, that was, I liked that. Um and it was just, music was just like, I don't know, it's just now I mean, they have music videos on YouTube, but before it was like every hit song had a music video and it was on repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, music videos, I feel like was one of the reasons I watched a lot of TV. I watched a lot of music videos. I remember to this day, like, Janet Jackson, So Excited music video, or when they did making the video, or I think it was like behind the video or some shit. Or when Beyonce did her Crazy in Love music video, when TLC did the No Scrubs video, they did it behind the music video for that one. So like all of those was just a staple in time.
Yeah.
Or like TRL, when TRL was a thing and people would come on and perform like every Friday damn near.
Remember in the summers they would do the beach, like the beach
party
bash, and it was like a party, and everyone, spring break, and they would come and they would be singing on the beach, and everyone would, oh my god, it was, everyone had a belly ring.
Yeah.
Everyone had a belly ring. The dimples on the back, the low rise jeans and shorts. Then they wonder why we came out so party people. Like they were literally on TV, like getting hammered, and you're just like, I want to be there.
Did you ever wear any of those shirts with like those Geechee girls, like the like pop like girls, and they would be like they look like brat dolls on t-shirts, and they would cut the t-shirts.
Oh, I think I wore like cut t-shirts with Hardy. Remember that every Mexican had it. Every Mexican was into Ed Hardy and True Religion jeans. Everyone.
There's to this day wear True Religion jeans that I can't stand, and they're kind of like wide leg, and then it has that huge horseshoe on the back.
Yes, on each pocket.
I like the ones that were more straight legs. Ugly.
The mud jeans. LEI, was it Lee?
Yeah.
Oh, Lee jeans.
I still love Levi's. I still wear them.
Yeah, Levi's, yeah.
What about like some things when we were in school? So like, you remember the Tamagotchis?
Yes. I always had to reset mine. How am I a mom now? I don't know.
I think I had a total of two Tamagotchi, or two. I would always end up having like two at a time sometimes. But
you could connect them, right? Or something like.
At some point, I think. But I definitely had a couple of Tamagotchis. And then I also always loved always loved gel pens.
Gel pens.
I'm still to this day a pen person. I have a collection of pens right over here. I'm always buying pens.
In elementary I went through like a Lisa Frank phase for sure.
From the
and Hello Kitty.
The reading book, the little book.
Oh yeah. The folder. I had like binder. And then Hello Kitty, like the pencils, the erasers, and the stuff that would smell like, or the little
Oh my god. We would rub them on the table and then sniff them, all the stuff in them. I mean, and
or the markers.
My parents would never really give me enough money to buy a bunch of shit from these things. They would give us like $20.
Yeah.
I'm like, a pencil costs $10. I'm not gonna have any money else. I mean, what else?
The jelly. The jelly sandals. Oh my God, this perfume. What is it called? Baby.
Bubblegum?
No, it's Baby Soft. Loves Baby Soft. Straight baby powder in liquid form. Everyone. Or Bath and Body Works. Were you a cucumber melon girl?
God,
Or were
no.
you a vanilla brown sugar girl?
I like the vanilla brown sugar.
Same.
Or the cherry blossom.
I was never a cherry blossom. My grandma is.
Cherry blossom.
I was always vanilla, like warm scents.
So, did you have an iPod when you were in school?
I did eventually have an iPod, yes.
Yes, I did have an iPad mini, and I had the green one. I had the regular size one for a long time, and that one was green too. I think I had a shuffle for a while, but I don't know what happened to it. I think I stopped using it, but I did have an iPod for a minute, and then,
I had a silver one.
you had a silver one? And then, I mean, we still used to burn CDs.
Yeah, we used to burn CDs and write on the have like the CD holders with pages of burnt CDs.
Yeah.
My gosh.
What about like your cell phone? Like, did you have like flip phones?
I had a regular one at first, and then yes, a flip phone, and then I had a chocolate. I always wanted the chocolate. Let me look it up for you. What was the phone that you had?
I had a. What did I have? For the longest, I had a Metro. I had that Metro Kyocera. And then from there, we went to Sprint. I don't remember. Did I have flip phone? Oh, I did have a flip phone. I had another Kyocera.
It was this one, the one that you would slide up like this.
Oh my gosh.
You slide it up, and it was black.
Oh, you know what? I had
This
one of
one.
those.
Yeah, and everyone had it. Oh, you got the chocolate? Yeah.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it was called the LG chocolate.
Interesting.
Because it looked like a chocolate bar. Yeah.
Is
And then they had
that
like different colors.
That's hilarious.
And it was like touchscreen, and it was new that it was like touch.
Touchscreen. Fancy.
I also liked Juicy Couture. I was a Juicy Couture girly. The velvet, the ribbon.
And baby fat. Fucking kitties on their backs.
My cousin was a baby fat girl.
Oh my god.
I was a Juicy Couture. I still, honestly,
They were talking.
I still like Juicy.
I think they brought back a version of Baby Fat and Juicy Couture.
Juicy Couture right now is back, like in the stores and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking of getting myself a Juicy bag just for fun.
Fucks and giggles.
Yeah. Like an elevated one, maybe not like maybe not a velvet one, but like a leather one.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
I mean, that would be cute. I don't know. So what trend from back in the day that you swore was cool, but now makes you cringe? I can tell you one.
I would say, there's so many. The anal beads on the neck. The anal beads on the neck.
They were called Kona shells, I think. Cocoa shells or Kona shells?
No, there was Kona shells, but there was also the beads. Like the, watch. Oh my God, so stupid. It was like at Wet Seal, like everybody had those, like these. Everyone had these. Everyone wore these like to crew parties.
Oh, I wore the Hawaiian ones. I used to love those.
Yeah, the Hawaiian ones. But these, oh my God. That was bad. And then the layering of tank tops.
Oh my gosh. That, and then I was going to say the thick ass belts that everybody loved to wear. The
polo with the long ass tank top underneath, like layering the polos, popping the there's a song. Yeah, pop. Yeah, there's a song that says like "Pop My Collar."
Yes, I knew this girl, and these two girls, they were best friends, and they would intentionally dress alike. That was another thing of that time. Everybody always wanted to dress, or always was dressing like twins, especially if you were friends. But they used to layer all of their shirts, like so you can put the color out and all of that. And I used to feel like, oh my God, like that is a lot of effort, like to put in. I was more into shoes, which has not changed.
Yeah. I remember like those like the slip-on shoes, like the pointy ones that the girls used to wear, and they were like the plastic, like with flowers on them, and like you said, like the big ass belts with like the round ones, like it was a bunch of circles, and then you would like clip them. Mm, let's reflect on the makeup real quick because
Woo!
that please don't bring that back.
I mean,
Do not.
which?
This was the routine. You slap on your foundation, which is a shade or two darker than your skin. And then you would get your pencil eyeliner and just lift your lid, put it on your lid, put it on your underlid, and then mascara. And that's it. Oh, and chapstick. Lip smacker chapstick. No eyebrow routine. No.
You know what? I do remember an era where it was just go get your eyebrows waxed.
Yeah.
And that's all the girls were doing. And they weren't doing any eyebrow makeup. It was literally like eyeliner, mascara, and I mean like
foundation.
And I mean, I knew girls that would sit there for 10 to 15 minutes putting on mascara and like walking out with
the spider. Yeah, the spider eyelashes. Oh my God.
It's like, there's a lot of that on their face. Like, and then when they would cry, or if they cried or wiped it off, it would be all over their eyelid. Eye infection. I knew a girl who got an eye infection from all that fucking mascara. Or this girl, she would come in. It was like every morning. She would do her makeup, and when she would come to school, she would have to get a Q-tip and get all that black shit out of the corner of her eye. I was like, that's nasty.
And you had to have like pin straight hair.
Yeah.
Everybody was straightening their hair. I straightened my hair every single day. I would wake up at 5:30 in the morning, straighten my hair, the indentation here, because the straighteners used to be like fat as fuck.
I mean, Paris was just they'll be so thick, and they were hot as fuck.
And your hair's all puffy. Oh my gosh. Bruh. The butterfly clips were cute though. I do like that.
Hair still wears the butterfly.
Yeah, I do that for my daughter. I'm like trying to dig deep.
What's a commercial from your childhood that you remember and like?
A commercial? Oh, the Six Flags.
The Six Flags commercial?
Remember, the Venga Boys are coming. And it was that old bald guy, and he would have his stick, and it would be the bus, and everyone's like...
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a good one.
I remember the drugs commercial. Is your brain on drugs? Dare, yes. And there would be like an egg in a skillet, or they smash an egg.
The girl that was like this in the couch, and she like melted into the couch, and they're like, this is what happened to you if you do drugs. And she's just in the couch like, I was so scared to smoke weed. I literally was like, I'm gonna die if I smoke weed, because that's like what they implanted. And then once I hit it, and oh my God. And I'm still like friends with the people I smoked weed with for the first time, and it was an experience, I will say. And we used to smoke mech.
What does that mean?
Mech is like the lowest of the low of weed, of like, it's like that dry, like brown shit. Because we didn't really have chronic until later on. That's like dirt. Yeah, like grass. Yeah.
And it smells like dirt.
Yeah.
Gross. That shit stinks.
Yeah, I used to smoke that. I used to smoke that, and then it just escalated from there.
What's the most ridiculous thing you begged your parents for in that era?
I feel like those bubblegum shoes were just like, I really wanted them. Those big ass platform. Let me show you. What was yours?
Mine were shoes too. Definitely Jordans.
Okay.
And then if it wasn't Jordans, it was like a Game Boy. I always wanted to make sure I got a Game Boy or Game Boy games.
Okay. Yeah, Game Boy. I think PlayStation, PS1.
Mm-hmm.
What were they called? What were
Like the platform shoes. Did you type in
uh
bubblegum shoes?
yeah, but
What
it,
came
it
out?
was it was like pink. Oh, they were like this. They were these so stupid. My God, it's not loading. These were like what the Spice Girls used to use. I think like Baby Spice or Sporty Spice. It's loading. Basically, they were like these. These are
Oh
the ones.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, but the Converse does some platform chunky shoes now too, though.
Soda Vintage 90s Chunky Platform
Yes, sodas.
for $150.
Yes, that's what they call them, sodas. They called them sodas. I remember that.
Yeah, the soda. Maybe that's what it was, not bubblegum.
Bubblegum, yeah.
But yeah, those, I think that was like one of the dumbest things.
Was those shoes?
Yeah.
Shoes. Um, so any other trends that you would like be interested that you would see coming back or you think something coming back?
I would like to see like the music channels like come back and like the music videos and like the scene of that. And I think like the natural bodies, because back then like the girls were just like naturally, and like I'm not against plastic surgery,
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, so I think that was cool just, because you see the impact it has on like the younger, generations. I think that, and I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. And I think just like the fun aspect of it, I feel like it was just more, it was funner. Like everyone just like fucked with everyone and everyone just like,
It was just about having fun.
yeah, like there was still bullying and stuff like that, but like, like it was just more like everyone wanted to party and like survive.
Yeah.
What would you want to see come back?
I think I do like the baggy jeans era that we're in. I do like that. I think they're doing them tastefully and they're not too crazy. I like that era. I wish we did more graphic t-shirts like we used to do.
I
That
do like
says
that.
things or, just random graphic t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have those anymore. Like, you remember Hot Topic? Hot Topic used to be
Oh,
like the
yes.
number one place you can go to get some really cool graphic t-shirts. I had a lot of t-shirts from Hot Topic and Zoomies. Used to be like my number one places to go and get like really good graphic t-shirts, but we're not doing that anymore. That whole era has somehow depleted and kind of died, but
Do you remember at Hot Topic the Psycho Bunny?
yes.
The bunny with the quote? Okay, so fast forward, Psycho Bunny is
Now,
back.
yes, yes.
Have you seen their merch?
Yeah, we used to hold them I think Bloomingdale still has them, but they have their own store and stuff now.
My nephew likes that. And it's crazy because we used to get those shirts like 25, 30 bucks.
expensive.
They're like $100, 80 bucks. It's not like it used to be. It's just like the logo bunnies
Yeah.
with Psycho Bunny on it.
Yeah.
Like back then it was like a stupid yellow rabbit with like a mean quote or something like that underneath. So that's kind of cool to see, but it's really different than what, we used to have like stickers of it and like pins. Remember, pins on the backpacks, on the JanSport backpacks.
You know what else? Coogee.
Mm.
Coogee was a thing, and oh my god, I used to hate the colors. Or LRG was one of my also favorites of the time.
Oh, that was a good one.
I think they have been trying to come back and have been doing stuff, and oh my god, I used to talk about all the time. Oh my god, I want to work for LRG one day. I want to be a designer for them and all of that, which could still happen. But yeah, LRG. I used to love LRG.
Did you ever have a baby babe?
No, I didn't like
I got
babe.
me a baby babe.
I didn't like
The jackets, the vapes. No?
No, it wasn't cute to me.
Yeah.
I think it was the monogram, and
All the
then
pretty boys had, I
they
think,
loved
like
it.
the
Yeah.
ones with the, remember the spiky hair
Yes.
and the big diamond.
Yeah. But it was also for the skater
And they used to
boys.
be like, oh my God, they're so hot. And then they had the spiky fireball hair. Oh my gosh.
Well,
And the
it's for
cut
the skater
eyebrow.
boys.
Oh yeah, that
It
too.
was for the skater boys, and that's kind of what, because I think it was at the time Pharrell was overseeing Bape, or that was his brand, or still is his brand, I think.
Like he would rock it.
And he would rock it all the time, and he was all about being a skater boy, especially when he was in the Neptunes, which was another part of that era, right?
Yeah.
You know, Pharrell, the Neptunes.
He was a skater boy.
Yeah.
She said, see you later, boy.
All of that. So I guess to wrap this up, when you talk about nostalgia, I think it's another direction to talk about is escapism, which, you know, the two of those kind of go hand in hand because we are trying to escape some sort of reality, right? Nostalgia can be positive, and it is a form of escapism, but it also offers us a lot of comfort. It also helps sometimes reduce loneliness, like, you know, when we're listening to our music, or we see things that make us think of the past, and we feel some sort of comfort when doing that.
And connected.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, yeah, like, because you're like, oh yeah, we used to do this. Oh yeah, we used to, you know, and you're like connected, and you're like, oh my God, like you feel like you weren't the only one. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think there's there is a part of idealism that comes from it. Like, you know, talking about the past, reflecting on it, and, you know, going back and thinking about what things used to be like for people, makes people feel good.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think with some of the Y2K fashions that are coming back, like I was talking about the baggy jeans, I do still see the low rise jeans coming every so often. I got too much ass to wear low rise jeans, so things kind of have to be up on my waist and up on this ass because otherwise I'll be around here looking crazy.
Yeah.
And then like reboots of old television shows that are coming back, even like movies, and when people create playlists, all of those things create some sense of nostalgia and also brings people a sense of comfort in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I just thought it would be a good conversation to have.
Yeah.
You know, for where we're at, you know, people, if you need somewhere to escape, nostalgia is the best place to go.
Yeah.
Go think about the past, you know, and listen to some music that makes you feel good. You know, we've been talking a lot about protecting your peace, so I think this is a good conversation to escape. Or you can listen to this episode and escape into this episode because we talk a lot about nostalgia.
Yeah, and tell us your thoughts and like what you found nostalgic that maybe we forgot. I mean, there were shows too, you know, like Hey Arnold, Rocket Power, like so many different shows, music, everything, trends. So let us know your thoughts too.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and close out the show. Bye. Hey, y'all. If you like what you heard, make sure you join the conversation. We always say to make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we definitely want you to do that. But also, we would love if you would join in with us. There's a link in the description where you can actually send us messages. You can also make sure to tag us on social media, put up your favorite clips of the show, and then tag us, and we will repost them on our stories. That is the best way to get in communication or community with us, and we would love to see y'all interact with the content. Anyway, thank you for following us, and thank you for listening, and we'll see you back for the remainder of the show. Bye. Okay.
Come on,
And we're
Lona.
back. So we pulled two cards. The two cards that we pulled was the Ten of Swords reversed and the Lover's card. Stephanie got the Lover's card, which, yes. So we about to find out.
I feel like this has been like an on, yeah, like it's a trend. I feel like maybe this is the year.
This is the year, baby. This year, this is your year.
Yeah.
Officially. All right. So the Ten of Swords upside down or reversed. The Ten of Swords typically represents betrayal, pain, or hitting rock bottom when it appears upright. So thank God it ain't that. However, in the reverse position, this card often signals recovery or release from something that has been weighing heavily on you. It's as though the worst of the pain or difficulty is over and healing can begin. This might be a time when you're starting to bounce back from a difficult situation, feeling a shift from despair to hope. And so, some themes that come from this card: so recovery after painful period, moving on from the past hurt or betrayal, letting go of old wounds and allowing healing to take place, and new beginnings or the light at the end of the tunnel. I guess for me, thinking about that, since I'm the one who pulled it, I guess I have been kind of in a space of just like letting shit go and moving on from things. I'm just not interested in dwelling on past things anymore or holding on to anything that has like annoyed or hurt me or bothered me. I'm been doing well with just letting it go. Mostly because I'm not interested in holding on to it or arguing about it or letting it bother me. I'm just like trying to be in a different place.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah, that's really all I gotta say about it. Stephanie with the Lover's card. So the Lover's card is often associated with relationships, but its meaning extends beyond romantic partnerships to choices, alignment with values, and deep connections. In the upright position, it suggests harmony, balance, and mutual understanding. It's a positive card that speaks to love, unity, and sometimes a critical decision that aligns with your higher self or greater good. It can also point to meaningful partnerships that support growth.
Cooperation and alignment with your personal truth.
Like, girl, what's that word? Cooperation and alignment with your personal truth. Yes. So, unity, partnerships, or harmony, a significant choice or decision with important consequences, deep connection, trust, and mutual respect, alignment with personal values and truth. Any thoughts before I read
Where do we begin? No, I think for me it's like I feel like lately like I don't have a lot of time for dating as much, and it's been like a while that it's been like that. So I feel like I'm dating with more intention and I'm making my boundaries clear. So like situationships are no longer like I'm not letting that really be an option. And making it clear and verbalizing that, and also really thinking about just like, I feel like at this age it's like, do you want more kids, do you not want more kids, like do you want marriage, do you not want marriage, like these are important things that you really need to think about for yourself, and also like if you're willing to sacrifice that or not, or just like really deeper conversations and just standing on that and for yourself and for yourself, and just I think I've been really doing that and only entertaining things with intention, or like because I see that it would go somewhere, or if not, just making it clear, it's cool to date for fun, but honestly, I don't know, I think I'm kind of over that right now in this right now. Yeah,
and priority.
yeah, like I just want to make sure it's gonna go somewhere, and that's where I'm at right now.
I feel that.
Like I don't say that on the first date, like I'm not like, hey, so yeah, no, like tastefully, right, doing it tastefully, but just having it in your mind or like in your heart, and just asking the subtle questions that you can kind of pick up on that,
So, like, just walking into it with clear
Yeah.
intentions of what you want.
For me, yeah.
That's smart. I mean, I think that's good. It's also a showing of growth. I think I've mentioned this, but I'm sure I have. When me and Paris started dating, that's kind of what I came here and I thought I was going to be a hoe, but I knew also that once I got to that dating area or whoever I was going to date, I knew I wanted to do it for, a long-term relationship.
For a future, yeah.
So Together, these cards tell a story of recovery, personal growth, and deepening connection, possibly within partnerships. Dana's reversed Ten of Swords suggests that there's been a challenging, painful period that you are starting to move beyond. While Stephanie's upright Lover's card indicates that love, unity, and or an important decision is playing a role in this healing process. The combination of these cards suggests that although you may have endured hardship or betrayal, the path forward lies is embracing healing, trust, and meaningful connections. It might also indicate a choice to step into more harmonious, aligned phase in your life, potentially with someone else or as a result of inner healing. In essence, this spread seems to highlight that despite the past struggles, there is a potential for growth, connection, and positive change, especially if you are open to healing and making choices that align with your true selves.
Great. I also want to say, like mine resonated with me in the sense of like, there's so much like chaos and
Bullshit.
bullshit and like not diversity but like separation and like breaking things down and like one against the other. And to me, that's what they want, right? But in my head, I'm like, well, this is when people should unite and really embrace each other and things like that. So I think for me, like with my friendships, like not just like dating and stuff, right? Like family, friendships, like trying to be more like, hey, how's your mental health? Like, your peace doing, like, just, being warm and like as much as I can, right? Because I have to protect myself too. But I think just being there for like people that, you genuinely love or love you is super important right now. So surround yourself with love. I think that helps a lot.
Well, yeah, I think, and then also it kind of just goes back into what we talked about today. Surround yourself with the people that will make you feel comfort and will make you, kind of forget about the shit that's going on in the world. Like, I guess grounding is important. Peace and grounding is always important. Although, we have to live in the realities that we're in, but also I think it's important to make sure that we are looking for something that gives us some sort of comfort with that when there's a whole bunch of chaos going on.
Yeah, like fun, comfort.
Yeah.
Being a good human.
Yes.
Just be a good human.
Yeah.
It's not that deep.
It's also not that hard.
Right.
Although some of you struggle with it, but
get therapy.
Yeah, that too. Get some therapy. Yeah, and I mean, speaking of which, so the thought yesterday I had a MLK program at my job. We brought these two doctors. One's a psychologist, and I think the other one's studying psychology too. But we just had a really good conversation and just talking about the collective and what your role would be moving forward as we have all of these things going on, and what role you want to play. How do you want to help affect change or put change into place? So, I think I do want to have her on one day to kind of revisit that conversation and have that conversation, because I think we can have a more candid conversation here. But, I think that's something else to think about. Like, what role do you all want to play when it comes to all the different things that are going on in the world? How do you want to affect change? How do you want to make people start to feel a little bit better about something?
100%. You don't want to look back with regret one day, so make sure you choose wisely. I also just want to briefly say, for Latinos and other races right now going through like the immigration scares and stuff, just educate your family members that might not know of their rights, friends, family, like just, you have the right to request an attorney. You don't have to say anything unless, you have an attorney present. You can immediately request and make sure that, if they are trying to come into your home or hospital, school, ask for documentation signed by a judge. Make sure it's a judge's signature. You have rights here. and make sure you utilize those. There's a lot of nonprofits. You can look up, on Google and in your area just to enter your zip code. Just education is so powerful right now. So I think just keep that in mind and do it. Educate people.
And then if you don't know what a warrant looks like, there are
Examples
out there that you can have and probably print out and keep them in your home, honey, just in case, because they cannot enter your home unless they do have a warrant that is signed by a judge. So that is important to know.
Mm-hmm.
With that wraps up another episode of the Hella Chisme Podcast. We hope that you all have a great rest of your week and weekends. And do you want to tell them where to find and follow us?
Yeah, so just make sure you're following us on Instagram for live updates and clips. Make sure on YouTube for all our audio content, and Patreon, most importantly, you get past and current episodes, visual, audio. And if you just wanted to stream us while you're driving or getting ready, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, those are all platforms we're on. And make sure if you're on any of our platforms that you're liking, subscribing, and just engaging with us and connecting.
Yes, and thank you again for watching and or listening. And we will be back next week. Bye.